You good?
All right, welcome to the GTR podcast. I'm your host Daniel Payton. I'm with my co-host Alex. We're back for another episode of the pod. This episode, he can actually tell you the housekeeping what we're doing this episode. Go ahead, Alex.
Well,
Check us
yeah.
out.
We're gonna go over Kate officially being out. I'm gonna do a little spiel about the Celtics. Um, Pelicans, their trajectory, the Suns' trajectory, and their scuffle that they got in. Toronto's slump and Trae Young's slump. Um, and we're gonna do. I got into a little thing on Twitter that was kind of exhausting. So I don't like to talk about like my social media experience too much, and I don't like to complain about it too much, especially because it's Twitter. It's to be expected, but
Yeah.
there's a thing I just want to be honest with. Um, they just want to talk about. Anyway, and we got a little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah, housekeeping.
So, of course, this is going to be out way late. I don't think we did one last weekend. And
We
just by the
did.
way,
We did
this is being covered on.
the 17th of
Yeah, this
December.
is going to be for you 12:30. Well, yeah, 12:30 a.m. on the 17th.
Yeah,
For me right now it is 11:27 p.m. on the 16th of December.
all the NBA games are over, so we can't
Yeah,
like all the NBA games are over basically.
yeah.
Um,
So anyway, I realized the timing of the Trae Young game, well, Trae Young topics is a bit off, is a bit weird because he just won today. But
it's a
I don't
bad,
know. Did
bad team.
Toronto play?
Toronto
Toronto
played the
got that
Nets.
game winner on
Game winner by Kyrie. Whew.
Kyrie.
Fred VanVleet was lost. And talking about Fred, we'll talk about Fred when we talk about Toronto.
Yeah. Oh. Lakers are up by.
AD is out.
Uh. Yeah. Yeah. 80's out. 80's limping. Um. He's gonna get an MRI soon. Hopefully, it doesn't seem too bad, but
You
there's
don't
the
know what.
injury worries kicking back in.
Yeah, yeah.
Lakers are up by 21 with 2:15 left against the Nuggets. They
Good
got the
job,
win in the
bro.
bag.
Good job, bro.
Yeah. Raptors. I just want to look at their record real quick before we get onto them way later.
Let me guess real quick. 14 and 17.
13-16.
Dog. Oh my god, I suppose. Uh,
You good? You good? But anyway, quick housekeeping. I am now I now have my website. I'm gonna start posting some of my sports writing there. I just did an article on the Celtics' third season review, which is so far aging really well. Not to be like I told y'all so,
but
but
I
I've been saying it. And most of it's just stuff like that I think I've said on the pod before. Um, and yeah, Robert Williams made his return today. He looked great. Um, some really nice putback dunks, some really nice
getting acclimated back into that lineup.
lobs. His defense looked good, but the rest of the team just could not shoot the ball. I
Yeah.
don't want to spoil too much of it, but that's one of the issues I said is the reliance on shooting versus defense because you're more likely to have a cold offensive streak than a cold defensive streak.
All right. One thing I can say, and this is his first one I've seen written, and not to gas him up, but it's very like professional layout. Like it's pretty nice. I'm not gonna
I
lie
know
to
how to
you.
do my shit. I know how to do this shit.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty. He got a pin. He got a pin when it comes to this. But I advise y'all to check it out. It's very good. It's
Yeah,
very very
the
good.
link will be in the description,
You know,
hopefully.
it will be in the
With the
description.
link to the website, not the article itself.
Okay.
But I will also post updates on Twitter for like when something's uploaded. And if someone's willing to like help me out with the design of the website, I'm terrible at designing stuff. So if you could
You're terrible
help
at
me out.
designing. That was a good layout the way you made that though.
It's all
That's
right.
kind of
It's
that's kind
Google
of
Sites, so it's hard to screw up.
man. But let's get into this. Let's get into this.
Yeah. Kate is officially out. We knew this, but
It just hurts. It just hurts hearing it. Like,
yeah.
he undergo surgery yesterday. He didn't fly with the team in Charlotte. Talking about Charlotte, good win in Charlotte, but he didn't fly in Charlotte. He got the surgery today. He's supposed to be back next season, beginning of training camp. So let's hope nothing hinders that. But it
Hope
hurts.
he recovers well. Um,
But this team looks fun, surprisingly, without Cade, because
yeah,
my
and
point
a
guard, Killian
lot of
Hayes.
it we've talked about Killian a lot lately, and excuse me, and
He had
he's
another good game in Charlotte.
yeah,
Like game winners, he about to hit game winners soon. But yeah, Pistons, another not disappointing year because we've seen our young talent develop, but another rebuilding year. We're not going to be the playoffs this season. Maybe a play in or sneak in or try
no,
to be, but
you guys are what 7-22 or 7-23.
7-22, something like that. But this season we really did want to see Cade and see his leap, but it's cool. Next season we get a top pick this draft. See it next season. We know we hoping for that number one baby, but nothing much, nothing really changed with Detroit. Young players get
Yeah,
to play, and we're going on from
Boston.
there.
I already kind of did my Boston spiel where it's like the defense needs to shore up because once again you're more likely to hit a cold streak on offense than you are to hit a cold streak on defense. The defense has not been there, and we've lost now 3 of our last 4 games.
Your defense,
Um,
real quick, your defense doesn't. Of course, your defense needs to be there, but when you have the best offense in the league, it's like
but
you know, you know.
it's fine for the regular season. It'll get you through, but come playoff, I don't want to spoil too much of what I wrote. But come playoff time, the defense has to be there because if you got to have a defense good enough to carry you through a cold streak, a cold couple games.
And we'll be there. Robert Williams will be like
I hope
acclimated
so.
now. It
I
will.
hope so. But yeah, 3 of the last 4 games we lost. The common denominator in those games is terrible shooting in those losses.
Three of the last four.
So once again, the defense hasn't been there today. Al Horford also had a bad move, and he got a flagrant 2 for it. That was not something I expected from the veteran. He's also been out in the games before, which did not help our defense, but I've been harping on it a lot lately, and I think with Robert Williams back, it'll be okay. But I'm still like, there's still a little bit of concern on my end.
And talking about your last 3 to 4, and this is all I'm gonna say about it. Um, y'all last three, no, 3 out of 4, y'all played. There's only one game y'all should have like lost, and it was y'all should have never lost that Magic game, respectfully. But that
No,
Clippers
no,
game,
you could say it as disrespectfully as you want. That's a bad loss to take. Now, in fairness, respect to the Magic, they're now on a 5-game win streak.
they're hitting shots too. They're hitting their
Yeah,
shots.
they look good. Markel Fultz looks pretty good.
Yeah, they got talent over there. Definitely young talent. And Paolo's still doing what Paolo does.
Yeah,
The Lakers game, y'all won, and y'all should never went into overtime. That's
yeah,
crazy. That game into an overtime.
I know that pissed me off. That gave me like that was
Thank you,
that was
Jason
shades
Tatum,
of
for that. For real.
those shades of Brad Stevens era.
Um, the Clippers game, y'all got walked. I don't know how y'all got walked that bad. Kawhi and Paul George was really like, yeah, we're the best wings in the league. Don't forget that.
Yeah, the shots weren't falling, and Kawhi was efficient,
You know
and
what really
they
showed
were
out
just
though?
cramping each other up.
Jalen Brown's ball handling showed that it did not improve at all in that game. And Tatum's playmaking, even though it's good, it showed that it didn't take a leap like I thought it was gonna do.
Yeah, and I don't know. It does make me like. a little bit scared for the rest of the season. Also, Malcolm Brogdon didn't have a good game, which that was kind of the move that was supposed to boost our playmaking a little bit. So I'm assuming if he doesn't have as bad of a game, I don't want to jump to too many conclusions. I want Robert Williams to be like integrated a little bit more, like back in the groove. Not even Robert Williams, but the team to be used to having him. But yeah,
Well, I missed 2 shots that game. God. Mm,
he was good. He was good.
29 minutes, 25 points, 2 shots missed.
Oh, Kawhi. Yeah. Kawhi was fucking good. And yeah, the Clippers also, I know we weren't supposed to talk about them, but the Clippers look pretty good. Not great, but they're starting to look all right. They were depleted as hell the other night and they lost.
We know they're a playoff team, so we're gonna wait for the playoff for them. That's when we really evaluate them.
Yeah.
But the Boston Celtics, y'all are fine. Y'all going to be fine.
We'll be all right, but I want to see this improve. Anyway, now on to the meat of this.
Yes, sir.
Pelicans, I just have it written Pelicans versus Suns because I wanted to talk about them anyway. And then those games happened.
Where do we start? Do we start from the altercation or do we start from where we're going to begin?
I want to start just talking about the Suns real quick.
All right.
I'm going to be honest. They've taken some bad losses lately.
I'm glad that we started with the Suns. The Suns are, and I heard this, I forgot where I heard it from, but the Suns are legitimately just Phoenix when Steve Nash was there. When they're when they were like playoff contenders, but come on, they don't have this. They are. They're playoff contenders.
No, but I know what you mean. I was saying they're playoff contenders, but they're
we know what happens. We know what happens. They got a good roster, good team, ran well, but we know when Lucas start knocking at that door. Come on. When Steph knocks at that door, come on. Even Kawhi and Paul George, come on.
Yeah. Let me just say real quick, they did have a good win against the Clippers, but it's
I wouldn't even consider that a good win.
Everyone.
You consider that a good win? Paul George or Kawhi didn't play.
Paul George didn't play. Hold up. I was just saying, they started Moses Brown.
You're supposed to win that if you're Phoenix. If you don't win that, that's terrible.
Absolutely. But it was a game they needed to rejuvenate themselves. Chris Paul had 15 and 13 on 6 for 13 shooting. Booker had a bad game, but Mikal Bridges taking strides on the offensive end. But anyway, before that Clippers win, they lost 5 in a row. They gotten blown out by the Mavs, blown out by the Celtics, beaten by the Pelicans, which was where that Zion dunk happened, beaten in overtime again by the Pelicans, and then a really bad loss to the Rockets.
To be fair, it's only one game they should have never lost. The other games, you can pick the other team to go. Mavericks, we know what the Mavericks do to the Suns every time they face them. Every time. The Mavericks walk down the Suns down there every time they face them. When Luka knocks on that door, it's wraps. The Celtics, I knew y'all was gonna walk them down. Jason,
but that was shades of Game 7. That was shades of that Game 7.
And we knew where this is what I mean by the Phoenix Suns are contenders, but not we know what happens. The superstar talent on the other team is just so much better that when it comes down to it, are you really going to win? Are you supposed to win? You're not supposed to win that.
But they should put up a fight.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Chris Paul is 38. Devin Booker. Let me put it in this perspective real quick. Drew Holiday is known as a great defender, right? We know him as one of the best perimeter defenders.
He's the best. He's probably the best guard defender in the league.
Correct. You take Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is in the top tier.
He is the best, I think.
Listen,
He's not as versatile as Marcus Smart is, but Marcus Smart's more of an agitator
yeah.
versus actually a really good technical defender. Technical defense, Drew Holiday is
And
really good.
this how good. Like Tatum made Drew Holiday look like a child in that playoff run. Like when they switched on, Drew Holiday made him look like he made Drew Holiday look like a child. When Tatum switched onto him, he made him look like a child. Now think about this, and this is why I don't trust Phoenix. If Drew Holiday struggled with Tatum, what the fuck is Chris Paul going to do to Tatum when they switch? What the fuck is Devin Booker going to do with Tatum? Like
Yeah,
these players are not going to hold Tatum or any player on a superstar level because they're just not that like they have a good identity, like all that. Mikal Bridges is a good defender, but they're not going to hold the superstar on the other team. They just
yeah,
don't,
they're not. That's just
and they have a
not gonna
track
happen.
record of it. So that game, you're right, it should have been closer, but these I didn't. I when the blowout happened, I was like, that really happened. No, I wasn't like that. Like it was like, okay, Phoenix did it again. Phoenix like
Yeah,
wet the bed
because
again.
it was also 2 games in a row where Luka blew them out. Um, the game before, which it wasn't as bad, but it was still pretty damn bad. And it's just like, they were really looking all right, and then they just go and lose that, and like, yeah, they're
They're Phoenix, like
yeah,
they're Phoenix, and
yeah. I think I said on the last pod, I'm like, I think I wanted to title a YouTube video, "The Phoenix Suns are fine." They're still the Phoenix Suns.
they're
They're exactly what we expected them to be.
they're going to be a playoff contender. But when the playoff really hit and the stars are in the actual round, Phoenix is going to fold like they always do, like Chris Paul does, like Devin Booker does, like Aiton does. And I'm a big Chris Paul fan. Chris Paul folds when the money's on the line. He folds. Um, Devin Booker is not. I hate. I don't know where this came from too. I hate the pedestal that people put Devin Booker on. He has 41 night. He has 240 balls, and then he comes to give 20 and terrible performance. Nobody talks about. I think
He,
that
I feel like he just has like the problem that most guys who rely on scoring have, and that's just some inconsistency. And what I do like is that his playmaking out of the pick and roll has improved a lot. I'm historically not a fan of Devin Booker. I think he's annoying, but he's made some good strides. I am going to say that. And
question. Okay,
hit me with it.
question. Devin Booker scoring is it on the gravity of Jason Tatum's?
I'm sorry.
Is Devin Booker scoring on the gravity of Jason Tatum's?
You're misusing the word gravity, I think.
Does he? Does he? Probably. Actually, I did misuse it. Let me rephrase this.
Yeah,
Does Devin Booker strike as much fear as Jason Tatum striking into defenders?
I don't think so.
We know Kevin Durant strikes fear into defenders. Devin Booker doesn't.
Yeah.
Like,
Let me just say,
young,
it's
go
not
ahead.
that Devin Booker doesn't. It's that,
He does.
okay, pure scoring. The thing is, once Tatum is on, he's unstoppable. And that's really just because of his frame, because he can just shoot over guys. It happens a lot when he takes a catch and shoot. He will hesitate a tad bit and wait for the defender to be in his face, but he'll still shoot it over them. There's like a little bit of Kevin Durant in that, which I know it's the easy comparison, tall, lanky wing, but there's a bit of that there of just being able to shoot over dudes. I'm not
A better,
so
okay. I guess my better
that's
question
what
would
I
be
mean.
my better question would be is Tatum, no, is Devin Booker a top 10 scorer in the league?
Yes,
You said that very fast,
I
very
think
quickly.
so. I don't want to like completely go through it right this second because we've got
Mm-hmm.
a lot of other shit to talk about, but I think without a doubt.
I don't think so. Because he doesn't draw as much as attention. And it's crazy because Devin Booker is a scorer. Like he doesn't draw as much attention as like a Tatum, Kevin Durant. And B, I'll say Shea draws more attention than Booker
Yeah,
at this point.
Shea's also been playing at a ridiculous level.
Luca, like those are five off the top, and like those are like people we know who are scorers. Like I think I'm not gonna name all five, but I think Embiid draws more attention offensively than Devin Booker.
Yeah.
So like
Oh
I
yeah.
don't
Oh yeah. Without a doubt.
I don't think Devin Booker is in a level tier where you can be like, better yet, this is the best way I can say it. When I think of top 10, I don't think of Devin Booker.
He's not top 10 in the league. I don't think there's.
I feel like to get a championship, you've got to be a top 10 player in the league.
You have to have a top 10 player in the league.
And if we're debating if Devin Booker is or is not, there would never win a championship.
Yeah. If we're and Devin Booker is not a top 10 player in the league. And to win a championship, it's been clear you need a top 10 player in the league. So Devin Booker's not a superstar. He's good. He's really good.
He's 15, which is fine. But I'll take Jimmy Butler in the playoffs over Devin.
I'd take Jimmy Butler in the playoffs over most guys in the league.
But Jimmy Butler is not a top 10 player right now, though. That's what I'm saying. Like,
no, right? No, regular season, he's not a top 10 player. I think we've been over that. It's the Jimmy Butler cycle.
Right.
We hit the.
But we know when Jimmy
is he overrated? We hit playoffs. It's like, yeah, this is why.
Right. Okay.
It's the Jimmy Butler cycle.
Right, but I don't think Devin Booker elevates his playoff. I don't think he elevates it enough to go to an NBA Finals.
No, and I don't think he does.
Okay, sweet.
Without a doubt.
We're on the same page. We're on the same page. You want to talk about the dunk?
Well, can we get started on one other thing? Chris Paul has been on and off. In that game, with the dunk, he just could not. Sorry, not with the game with the dunk. The game against the Celtics, he could not hit a thing. And it was kind of sad to see because he was painfully passive. Like, pick and roll would be like 99% of the times, like in the past, he's pulling up from mid-range, but he's just going to keep dribbling he kept dribbling to the basket. There was one instance, I think it was with Grant Williams. It was a 2-on-1 pick and roll. Grant Williams defending Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. Grant Williams just covered DeAndre Ayton, which meant Chris Paul had a wide open layup, and he just went for the lob, and Grant Williams tipped it. So I was just like,
you see the decline of Chris Paul?
Just take that shot.
Yeah.
And that's the passiveness that really holds him back at this point, which I get it. He's older, but that is painfully passive. As one of the guys who's known to have one of the best basketball IQs in the league, that's not showing it.
That was a dumb moment. I know exactly what you're talking about. Because he had an easy, like, I'm thinking he could go for at least, like, when he threw it, I'm like, okay, it's a floater maybe. Nope.
No,
not a floater, not a runner, nothing.
And in my head, I'm like, good defense, Grant. He's never going to take that. The second I saw him go, I'm like, he's not taking the layup. Like, everyone knew it. And he changed a bit. He got a bit more aggressive after that because he realized, like, hey, that was way too passive on my part. But, yeah.
They got a lot to work. They need to make a move. That's what I'm saying. They need to make a move. I don't know what it is, but
because they're stuck in that like B tier contender where it's like, okay, they can get to the playoffs and do all right, but they're
Utah. They're Utah. Like they're going to be good in the regular season. The playoffs, I don't know. Like, what are you going to do? We're waiting. But Phoenix got to make some move to shake up the roster so it can like. I wouldn't mind a Kelly Oubre over there. Somebody who I know is gonna.
That'd be interesting.
Gordon Hayward, I wouldn't mind.
Gordon Hayward's a lot of money, and I don't know if they'd do that, but yeah, I wouldn't. I do agree with that, though.
Something fresh.
Anyway, let's go on to the Pelicans. I just start real quick on how good they've been. I don't know if they're still number one in the conference. They still are?
Cool. They're number one in the conference.
All right. So last pod, we were like, their offense is great, just looking amazing. but their defense was not it. I don't know if it was last pod or 2 pods ago. Now they've got a top 10 defense.
I should have never said nothing.
No, you're good. I think I said the same thing, but I'm like, well, I thought that they would be able to have an okay defense. They've been even better. When everyone slandered Zion on that play against, I don't remember who it was, where he just stopped trying. Ever since then, his switch kind of flipped, and he's really started to hit his
Buying in.
potential on the defensive end.
He's buying in, and
he's really buying in, and that's great to see. He's maybe not scoring as much, but he's got more players around him. Well, what's he been averaging? No, I think he's averaging
a smooth 28. Like I think a smooth
20.
Yeah,
no, he's averaging the 28 on 60%, which once again,
you know, it's the crazy part. He's only taking 16 shots. That's crazy.
I know. He's
scary, officially.
He's terrifying. And their defense has been great. I can't lie. Jonas Valanciunas has been kind of infuriating. I'm a fan of him. I've always been a fan of him, but he's been infuriating.
Infuriating as hell. Herb Jones' defense is still there. That helps. Dyson Daniels, my boy.
Dyson Daniels looks good. He's just a good plug and play guy.
It's still shooting 40% from 3. So thank you, Lord. Like my agenda strong.
Let me just say real quick. As he called himself, the light-skinned Pat Bev. Jose Alvarado has been fantastic.
Not the light-skinned Pat Bev.
He called himself that. He's, the mic'd up. Like, can he shoot? Yes, I can shoot.
Yes, I can shoot. Yeah.
That.
D'Angelo
he was talking to a ref. He's like, bro, Pat Bev, he does that all the time. I'm just a light-skinned version of him.
Man.
Died.
He's a I love some Jose Alvarado. Oh, yeah. I love watching. He just does, like, he doesn't care. He's doing everything to win. I love watching some Jose Alvarado.
And he's been hitting. I think I said in preseason his 3-ball looks good, but no, it looks good. And he can definitely be a long-term piece. Or be he's a long-term stay in the NBA.
Got a question for you then.
Hit me with it.
I had my takes are really hitting this season. I had the Pelicans as a dark horse for finals.
Me too. We both did.
And it's looking like it can happen. Because right now it doesn't look like a clear winner off the finals. And the Pelicans got everything on their side. They got the superstar.
Yeah.
They got the superstar. They got the co-star. They have the defense. If it holds up right now, they have the defense. The offense is still there. They got youth, and they got players who have experience. And they got good coaching. What else do you really need to win a chip? Like at this point,
I mean, I don't know what else.
I'll say this real quick, and I'll let you go. If CJ McCollum made a finals, I'll buy in. I'll buy in if CJ made a finals. If one of their vets made a finals, I'll buy in so quickly. I would have brought stock right there because, man, they have everything they need.
They do. You bring up a good point, but I think I want to see how Zion elevates himself in the playoffs, and if he does, some guys do, sometimes some guys don't, and that's just how the NBA works. I'm not doubting them. I'm saying I'm intrigued to see that. I think a lot of people have been saying to make this trade, and I really want to see them trade for Miles Turner.
I don't like it, actually.
Really?
You know why? Because even though Valanciunas has been like very, very poor, like not poor, but very underwhelming, a better word to use. I know what I'm getting out of Valanciunas. He's going to be an unmovable force when he goes down to the post. He'll be able to get rebounds.
You don't trust the consistency of Miles Turner?
I don't trust it, and I love Miles Turner. I trust his defense. If they got it, they'll be top 5 defense the whole season. I don't trust the offensive output of Miles Turner. He got a 3 ball, but is it consistent? No. He really doesn't have a paint presence and like scoring in the paint. It's not crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the thing is, my thing with that, I don't think they need it. I
do you
don't
buy?
think they need that much of a paint presence.
So do you buy into the Zion point forward? Then? At that point, that's what you're saying. You
I've
buy
been
into
buying into that for a while. I don't think. I just don't think they need another point. Miles Turner stretches the floor better than Valanciunas does.
Yeah.
I think. Not I think. He does, and he's a better defender. He takes less shots, which means their stars can get up more shots. But at the same time, it's like a reliable. I feel like Jonas Valanciunas is kind of like steering wheels, where it's like he's got you worst case scenario. Like if all else fails, you can run
I
through him.
can right. And that's what I think is
So
like.
maybe I want to walk that back a little bit.
Hmm, what I was another great defensive center. You know what? But this won't happen. If they if they had Bam, oh my god,
Bam doesn't stretch the floor for shit.
it don't matter. Bam is athletic to guard 1 through 5, a lob threat, and who's stopping Bam and Zion on the glass, respectfully? Because I'll take Bam over Miles for them. I'll take Bam over Miles. Bam can bring the ball up also.
Well, yeah, no, well, no shit, you take Bam, but you're also gonna have a really hard time trading for Bam. I'm just gonna point that
Yeah,
out.
that's what
So
I'm
I think
saying.
we
That's what
both
I'm saying.
agree on that front.
Yeah, I think Miles Turner is the happy medium, is you get elite rim protection, solid to okay perimeter defense. It's just the rebounder for me. He's not because Miles Turner already don't crash the glass like that. He's averaging like 6, 7 rebounds. Like
Yeah.
at that point, where do you like go from there?
Yeah, that is true. You do need some sort of rebounding. So, and I think you can kind of get that from Zion, but Zion's better on the offensive glass, and
Mm-hmm.
most of his boards are also from his own shots.
Right, because who's going to stop him? Who's going to out jump him? Yeah,
You're just not. Um,
but they got
and then
everything in the NBA Finals team.
I don't remember if there was one more person. I mean, Trey Murphy's been a knockdown shooter from three, and
I'm just waiting for BI to get back fully, like consistently.
yeah,
That's all.
and I think that's that on the Pels. Um,
Top 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 team in the NBA and top #1 in the West.
in the
Looking
West,
good.
yeah, not in the
Looking good.
NBA. I think it's between
I said
Boston
top one of the
and
top teams in the NBA.
one of the yeah.
Yeah, but
Impressed.
looking good. Impressed, super impressed. Defense keep
Anyway, let's get down to that moment.
that
We're a
moment.
bit late on this. Let's just address the elephant in the room, but let's address this.
Zion taking that fast break dunk, and he made it look easy. He made it look 360 windmill. He made that thing
That
look
was.
easy.
Let's just get this out of the way. That's a nasty ass dunk.
Dog, he got off the rim acting like it was nothing. Like that was.
Nasty.
I'm gonna say this. Did I agree with it? No. It's Zion. I don't care. I feel like for Zion, and this is my take on this. Zion did that to show that he's here. Like we knew what Zion was. We knew what Zion, but he did that dunk and punched that home just to say like
I'm here.
y'all know what I'm about, right? Like everybody was saying the debate, like I clearly take John over him. Like people was throwing in the debate. Is Zion really what we think he? Yes, yeah. That dunk said yes, I am. Yes, y'all gonna know who I am. And I'm a winner. I'm here to win. I think in the press conference he said, um, it was no disrespect, but that team knocked my team out the playoffs when I wasn't here,
Yeah.
and
And
I didn't like that feeling on the bench. So I had to show them, we're
yeah,
here, and that's
I like that statement. I don't completely agree with the dunk, but I honestly don't care. Like, one, Chris Paul did just take a shot. Cool. And also, and then they got all chippy, and I'm like, okay, it's I don't know. There's something about the Suns that's just annoying.
If it was a playoff game, I can see the disrespect. That would have been hot. I would have been the Phoenix Suns on that end. It's a regular season game. The fans liked it. It didn't do no harm. Y'all was already losing. It was not like it did no harm. It did no harm at all. The fans got a nice Kodak moment from Zion. Like,
Yeah,
can't get
it's
mad.
cool. And it's just the thing about they were whining about it. I'm like, I don't know. And then Chris Paul elbowed
Jose.
it was a lightish elbow, but he did elbow Alvarado. And I'm just like, I don't I feel like they were trying to play some of the players were trying to play a bit of a victim card. I'm like, I don't feel bad.
I
You
don't.
guys talk a lot and you lost. It's what's gonna happen.
You know what? And I don't want to go back to the Suns, but that is the point where I made where the Suns are afraid of Zion. like how are they
Yeah,
afraid of Luca? They're afraid of Zion. And Zion handled that so professionally when a scruff would have it. He just walked away. He dunked the
yeah,
ball,
and
walked
that's
away, went to the press conference. Like,
yeah. He's like,
good
I have
job.
the upper hand. I don't need to get involved in this.
And then they came back to beat him again. Like,
In overtime this time, but yeah.
but it's the Phoenix Suns make everything small into a big deal. They're the they're the Grizzlies if everybody didn't hate the Grizzlies, if everybody didn't like the Grizzlies. That's what they are, if we're being honest. People like the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Nobody likes Phoenix. Nobody likes Phoenix. I don't think Phoenix Suns fans like Phoenix.
I'll be honest, I don't like that comparison because I feel like the Grizzlies do have a championship level ceiling. I do. Jaws is in his fourth season. Desmond Bain, I believe, is in his third. Jaron Jackson looks fantastic.
You think the Grizzlies have a championship ceiling?
Ceiling. Yeah, I think they do. I think they can do it.
Give me the Pelicans over the Grizzlies for championship ceiling.
Well, yes, 100%, but it's not just this year.
I don't think I don't think Desmond Bain is enough to be your second best player. I think you're going to run into the Luca effect in the playoffs.
You could, but Desmond Bain is playing at a borderline all-star level. Jaron Jackson is, yes, he's injury prone, but he's an all defensive caliber player. Well, and we always say this about Jaron Jackson, where it's his. Okay, if he can just stop fouling.
The Triple J effect.
We always say it's Jaron Jackson. He got one night, I think he got like 6 blocks or 5 blocks and played really well. The next he fouled, he got was it 5 fouls in 13 minutes or 4 fouls in 13 minutes. I'm like, what do you
Championship ceiling. I think Desmond Bain is not enough for to be the second best player.
okay.
And it's crazy because he is playing at an all-star level, but like he's not an all-star. Like
Well,
that's
the
the
thing
problem
is,
for me.
my I'm more concerned about their health because it's not the first time Desmond Bain's been injured.
Ja got a
Jaron
little
Jackson's always had injury problems,
and Ja got a little bit of injury history.
and Jaws always gets a minor injury every now and then.
At the worst times. At the worst time. He got one in the playoff against the Warriors, which was
Yeah,
not.
that was just I think really unlucky.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'll have to come back on that. I'll have to come back on that because I
Yeah,
can't say yes
I
or
want
no
to
to
see them
that.
play together.
Yeah. Then the next thing I was on the list was the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Toronto in trouble. Um,
Can I say something real quick?
hit me with
I
it.
want to start it off. Pascal Siakam, you're great. You're a great man. OG Anunoby, DPOY candidate. Everybody else, y'all are not helping. Y'all are not helping. Fred Van Fleet, huh?
Fred
Uh,
VanVleet, since the All-Star game last year, has just straight up been bad. Not
uh,
been bad, but like he's
he
just been
dropped
really
off.
underwhelming. In fairness, tonight Fred VanVleet had 39.
And game winner though. And game winner though.
That was
Good
that's
job
also
having. Good job having your
that's also
team.
Kyrie Irving.
Good job. You're a good defender. You're supposedly a good defender. He gamed your shit. Like
He's a,
He stepped back and made. You seen the clip?
yeah, no. I'm saying like I wouldn't call him a good defender. I think he's like a net even defender.
Okay. He made you fly and get. He had so much space. He had so much space.
Let me
Oh,
also say, um, Scotty Barnes actually had a good game. He's been starting to turn it around. I think was it last pod we were like, oh, he's got to start to turn it around, and he has. What's this last ten?
likely.
Yeah, his last 10. I'm trying to read this.
You're good.
ESPN. 14, 7.5, and 4 on 49, 29, and 68 splits, which isn't great, but you just go back to recent games.
Toronto. Hey, while you do that, I'm gonna say this. Toronto is the idea of where I'm okay, which are Boston theory about their defense is good. Toronto defense is good. They don't have enough firepower to compete with like
Yeah, and
anybody,
yeah,
and that's
but
the problem.
like as good as Pascal Siakam is, he cannot be the best player on a championship team.
Or like the only player offensively that can go get his own. Like,
Yeah. In
like
fairness, also tonight they were really short-handed. Juancho Hernan Gomez had to play 41 minutes.
you had a 15-point lead in the second, no, at halftime.
Yeah, but
Come on.
they've been so injured. They were so injured. So, but they're on a 4-game skid now, and you can't put that down to injuries, especially with they lost a back-to-back to Orlando and scored. Was it the? I don't remember which game it was, but they scored 39 in the first half.
Hmm. They don't have
One
the
of those games.
and when it comes to playoff, you need to have the firepower on offense. Your defense is about, of course, you need the players, you need good players to play defense, but it's about effort and how much you really want it on defense. Offensively, if you don't got the firepower to match anybody, you're gonna
They're
that
going to
lead is gonna
struggle.
get cooked. That lead is gonna get cooked quickly.
Yeah,
Quickly.
because good offense always beats good defense. Now,
Exactly.
also, I do have my theory on like you do need offense. Every single team hits a cold streak offensively at some point, and you need to have a good enough defense to like get you through that. Because you can have a 4-game cold streak or 3-game cold streak. You cannot let it derail your season. You have to have a defense that's good enough to where it doesn't derail you in the playoffs. Um. Anyway, I don't know where you put what you do there, what you do with them.
Trade Van Fleet to somebody else. You better
Right
get a
now, his
better point
value's not.
guard.
Yes, he just dropped 49, but sorry, 39, but his value's not that high right now.
Better find somebody. Boy, he can't be your lead guard. He can't. I'm sorry. He can be a third best player, but he can't be a lead
Yeah,
guard.
yeah, I agree. He can be your third best player.
Miami, call that line. Miami, call that line. Um, Miami, call. It's a
I
lot
wouldn't
of
hate
teams.
that.
It's a lot of teams that can use him, but he can't be your like third, like your second option, the first option on a championship team. Um, Pelicans blow it. No, not Pelicans. Low key, the Raptors should blow it up. Um, and it's crazy for me to say this, but move Pascal because Pascal will give you some assets. All NBA player, All Star. He can give you assets, and just if y'all really believe in Scotty Barnes like y'all do, y'all build around Scotty.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. Because they're like in an in between thing at this point where it's like, all right, they got a young guy they can build around, but they don't have. They're too good to where they can't. get other guys. It's kind of like a Luka situation, except Luka was just instantly good instead of having Pascal Siakam play at an all-star, all-NBA level. So I think at a point you do have to tank a little bit, like just to get him that co-star so that you can get them all on the same timeline.
Yeah. And like, I know it's crazy with me saying that because Pascal is not that old. He's what,
You know,
28, 29.
he's
But
29, I think.
but
And I
move
love Pascal Siakam. I'm just gonna say I love Pascal Siakam.
move him and Fred VanVleet and get a package where you still can. It's like
Yeah, I think I
sooner than
wouldn't hate
later.
that.
Sooner or later, like they're going to get older. They're not getting any younger. They already got a chip. They already got the chip. Toronto, y'all, as much as I hate that y'all hold this one championship y'all got y'all chip. Y'all got y'all job done. Go
Hmm.
rebuild next to Scotty. If y'all believe in Scotty like y'all think y'all do, go build around Scotty.
Yeah,
Um, and like packages that you can get for Pascal is pretty good. Call some teams that call the Brooklyn Nets, call teams that you can really get like value and assets from. Um, I know it's easier said than done, but you can make some moves because right now I don't think you're in. You don't want to be stuck in purgatory where you're just okay. You don't want to be Indiana of like years ago where they were good enough. We knew we were going to make the playoffs, but we knew they're not going to win. You don't want to be Phoenix. You don't. You just don't.
yeah. And it is, as I said, it's kind of just two different timelines. So Scotty, once again, is starting to turn it around, so you can't really put it on that slump. Yes, they're injured right now, but see, you do look at that squad and you're like, is that good enough to make a deep playoff run? And right now, with the competition in the East or in the NBA in general, my answer is no.
And it's okay. It's okay because only one team can win an NBA championship.
That sounds condescending. I can't lie, but like at a point, you do have to admit, like, hey, maybe we do have to tank a bit so we don't end up in that purgatory, the Indiana Pacers special. Um,
It's
but
just it
yeah,
is what it is. It's basketball. Like it's
yeah.
basketball. Um,
Anyway, last thing is
the head tap. Let me stop. The Trae
oh fuck.
Young. The Trae Young.
Let me just say real quick.
Oh, that was
Trae
hilarious.
Young finally had a good game tonight. He actually
Against a
shot well.
shit team. Against a shit team. Whatever.
Let me go to my tweet. I said like Trae they needed to play a bad team because Trae's been in a slump.
They missing DeJounte. John Collins is hurt. Clint Capella didn't play. The Knicks are better than the Hawks. Like, what world are we
Okay,
living in?
okay. So I said Trae bounce back game. Um, question mark before the game was over, and he ended up having a good bounce back game.
Okay.
Good matchup against a struggling Hornets team, and so far it's really helped him start to get his groove back. I hope it carries over because I am a fan of Trae Young, not the foul baiting, but everything else. I think he's fun as fuck when he's on, and I also like DeJounte Murray a lot, who's
Been
I think
injured.
still injured.
Yep, still
So
injured.
my question, I'm like they finally did well today, but it's been before that. I think it was 3-8 in their last 11. Just not good. Yeah, you can chalk some of that down to injuries, but then it's like they've lost to some bad teams.
They're 4-11.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, in our last 11. Maybe I'm tripping.
you're good. Um, Sorry, my dog is also now just laying in a really cute way.
You're good.
Um,
They won four games out of the 11 they played. They're at
okay,
500 even.
still not good.
Still not good.
So it's like,
Did they lose to teams they should have beat? Let's see. Okay, I got it up right here. So they beat the Sixers.
Nah,
Okay, that was a close game. They lost. They beat the Magic. They beat the Nuggets. They lost to the Thunder, which I don't think you should lose to the Thunder.
that's a bad loss.
The Knicks, y'all got dog walked. They
That's a
walked
bad
113
loss.
to 89. You got
Yeah,
walked out of the building. Kevin Durant came to play against the Nets. You beat the Bulls, and then the Grizzlies and Magic. I'm not gonna say they had bad losses. They just had teams who probably was like either the Nets better than them. The only two losses I see on that thing is like the Magic, the Knicks, and the Thunder, which you should lose those
those
games.
are three bad losses. Like the Knicks have started to turn it around, but that's still a bad
It's still a
loss.
bad loss. Yeah, it's still a super bad
Yeah.
loss.
Just by the way, on the next pod, I do think we should talk about the Knicks. Well, if it sticks around, the Knicks starting to turn it around,
The Nets.
and then yeah, the Nets and the Bulls. Um, the Bulls have been disappointing, but
That's crazy. That it's not crazy. The Hawks really. That's another team that needs to make a move and move on from John
I
Collins.
wouldn't say make a move yet. But I think they've got to choose between um, Okongwu and Capella.
I also think they have to choose between, and this might be me tripping, but DeAndre Hunter or AJ Griffin. Because man, AJ Griffin has been on a
You're
tear.
tripping there, but I can't lie.
I am.
AJ
DeAndre
Griffin's
Hunter
on
has
a
been
rookie deal.
DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre, no, that's what I'm saying. DeAndre Hunter has. We always thought like, if DeAndre Hunter does this, he'll be the perfect player next to, like the
Well, the
perfect
thing is,
defender. He
he's just
hasn't.
kind of a decent enough 3-and-D wing, and I think he fits their timeline better. And it's not that AJ Griffin doesn't fit. I don't think they have to fit between them because they can also share the court. The thing is, Okongwu and Capella cannot share the court. That's way too redundant.
Okay, I see. Okay, you're right. You're right. Maybe
So
I'm on
that's
an
what I
AJ Griffin. Maybe I'm on an AJ Griffin high because he's been
no,
playing.
I also I am
He's been
too.
playing
He
way
had that
better than DeAndre.
ridiculous game winner against the Bulls.
He's been playing way better than DeAndre Hunter for these couple of games. Like
He
way
has been.
better.
But also DeAndre Hunter's missed a lot of games with
And that's another thing. Injuries is a thing with DeAndre Hunter too.
mhm.
Like, like when are we to be like, let's try something? Like, let's try something. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least we tried. You feel me? You feel what I'm
Yeah.
kind of saying? Like, at least we tried. Um, do you
Yeah.
does does it still change your mind about the DeAndre Hunter pickup or no? Like, do you think they should have won somebody better than DeAndre, or you're like, oh, it's still too early?
I hate draft revisionist history. I'm just gonna point that out.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
I hate it so much. But yeah. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Twitter thing. I got in a long ass Twitter argument, I can't lie, about this Hawks fan was is adamant that Trae Young is better than Luka Doncic. Especially now you can't say that. I used to think it was close like a year ago or so. I thought it was pretty close, and I'm like, okay, I can definitely defend that trade from the Hawks' point of view. Especially now you can't. And the thing is, what was annoying to me about that, I like both players and I hated arguing against Trae Young, but I'm just like, I would bring up a stat. I would bring up stats to kill the other guy's point. And then it'd just be like some other random thing would be brought up. I'm like, dude, just take the L. Admit you're wrong. Come on. This is why Twitter's infuriating sometimes. Also, Elon got owned in a space and got rid of it
And
for
then
a
you
little
bring
bit.
it back. You bring it right back.
Received a metric fuck ton of backlash for getting rid of it and then brought it back. I'm like, he's soft. Anyway, um, but yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't think you can, especially not this season, you cannot say that Trae Young is better than Luka Doncic. He also said Luka Doncic is not worth building around, which is delusional. Um, I get being a homer. I'm fine with that, but don't delude yourself. It's one of those things that I
No
can't
way he
say.
said Luka's not worth building around.
Yeah, I know.
Luka is a. There's not a lot of one man armies in the NBA right now. Luka is a one man
man
army. Like
army.
he can.
So you
Woo,
can
woo. Boy, that was a bad take. That was a terrible.
that's an awful take.
Ooh.
And that's when me and the other guy we were arguing, me and another Celtics fan, we were arguing with him. We were just that's when we were both like when he said Luka's not worth building, we were like, I lost cause. Let's get out.
He said Luka is not worth.
Yeah. And my man was saying Trae's more efficient, which I'm like, okay, maybe true shooting, but I also don't like true shooting as a stat that much. Like I like it, but I don't.
True shooting shows a lot though. It takes everything into account.
It
One
doesn't.
thing I one thing I can say. One thing
I
I
just want to
say.
look at splits and attempts per game. I'm gonna be
one
honest.
one thing I can say about true shooting is it heavily favors free throws a lot. So Trae
Which we
Young is a
foul
way
bait,
better, and Trae Young is a way better free throw shooter than Luka. So
and he's
true shooting is
also
the
really good at foul baiting. But
foul baiting.
still,
Just like they hit you.
Luka's shooting almost 50%. Trey shooting just above 40%. Luka's scoring 7 more points per game or 6 more points per game. Sure, he's getting less assists, but he also has a significantly worse supporting cast.
Ah.
Trae Young has an all-star.
I feel like
And
that's Luka's
a
fault.
really good rim running center.
Feel like that's Luka's fault. Because when Luka had an All Star, he was not giving it to his All Star player. So the team fit around Luka is kind of his fault because he had an All Star level player and he did not give it to that man. And like Jalen Brunson was good, and you saw Jalen Brunson take a backseat, like super backseat too. So,
He would.
uh,
But I mean, like, he's
uh
Luka, I still don't. Kristaps Porzingis for a season, but I'm still like adamant that hey, he's not a good enough partner. Um,
my thing is Luka is not good off ball.
hmm?
Luka's not good off ball. Like
No, he's not.
I feel like for them, and I can say,
But
and
Trae
this
Young's not either.
he's better than Luka. Like, let's not do that. He's better than Luka. He's shown he's better than Luka. Luka for them, for both of them, and for this is why I say about the Ja Morant thing. But Ja clears them both off ball because Ja is a great cutter off ball. This is why I think about, and this is why I feel like your Stephs of the world, your KDs, your Tatums of the world is so like they have that superstar like ability because the off ball it gonna sound stupid, but the off ball, like when they don't need the ball in their hands and somebody else can cook a little bit and get a rhythm, that's where you see the championship ceiling in the windows and where somebody else can play off ball and
Yeah,
you
and
still
you're
can play
right.
great and you still can play great off ball or on ball. That's why I feel like it's levels to this. It's levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't see the Luka. Luka is probably the best one. I'll say he could probably one man army it all the way to the NBA Finals, like one man army all the way to the NBA Finals. But that's why I don't see these players who don't play well off ball going very far, like NBA Finals
Yeah, and
appearances.
it's definitely. I think he's gotten a little bit better this season, but it's still not like
It's not like I'll be like,
nowhere near where it needs to be. Same deal with Trey. It's gotten better, but nowhere near where it needs to be.
if I'll say this, this might be a bad take right now, but in the future it might look good. If Trae Young was the off-ball player Darius Garland they could go deep in the playoffs. If Trae Young is the off-ball player that
I
Darius
agree.
Garland is to
No, I
Donovan
think
Mitchell,
that's a really good take. Because I also think DeJounte Murray, I don't think it's the best fit, but I don't think it's a. I actually.
he hides
I,
everything that Trae Young can do on defense.
exactly.
Like
He's a great defender and a really good ball handler.
his
So
three-pointer improved, like
his three balls actually dropping.
playmaking has elevated to help Luke, to help Trae Young when
Trey.
he's not on the floor.
Yeah.
If Trae
So yeah,
Young, man, Trae Young can become an off-ball player like Darius Garland. You know,
there's something there.
something there. There's something cooking. But
Yeah.
I think we ended right there.
Yeah, I
Nice
think
place to
so.
end it. Uh,
Anyway,
Thank you guys for watching another episode of the GTR podcast. Again, I'm Daniel, my co-host Alex. Shout out to Let's Talk Sports. Let's Talk Sports, yes.
they're
See,
promoting our stuff.
you know what I did last time? I
Yeah,
said
what's
Let's
up?
Talk Sports, and it's not Let's Talk Sports. It's Let's Talk Sport,
Yeah.
but it's not sports. Hey,
Anyway,
anyways, but shout out to guys for promoting us. Alex,
um,
go ahead.
let me just say, rate five. Make sure leave a like on YouTube, share, rate 5 stars on Spotify. Um, follow us on Twitter. The links will be in the description. Read my article. Um, when you get a chance, if you get a chance, please. And any promotion would be very much appreciated. So again, thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to
Hey,
you guys
peace.
in hopefully a week or so.
We'll see y'all in a week. Peace.
Peace.